Hello, Beaufort. I'm Commissioner Sharon Harker. Since 1976, the month of February has been observed as Black History Month throughout the United States as well as Canada. Although Black History is 365 days of the year, it is still important that we take the time out to recognize the many contributions that African Americans have made within our country and in our town. Now, it would take more than a month to recognize the many contributions that African Americans have made within the town of Beaufort. So I'll be focusing on a series of historical events that have shaped African American history as well as the town of Beaufort. Now, in 1863, the American Missionary Association erected the Whipple School. The aim of the school was to educate freed black students as well as offer them training. Now, the African American at that time was thirsty and hungry for education, and enrollment began to increase. It was recorded within the first 2 months of the school being open that 75 pupils were enrolled and 1 white student. And now, after the Civil War, the enrollment began to increase, so the need for expansion was important. So the American Missionary Association partnered with the Congregational Church to expand to a classroom as well as behind me a workshop. Now, it was no longer called the Whipple School. The final name eventually turned out to be the Washburn Seminary. Now, behind me is the Washburn Seminary workshop. It was their trade school. It's where the women learned how to sew. The men learned carpentry, masonry, blacksmith, as well as cabinet building. Now, the school in the middle that was built that is no longer there eventually burned down in the 1920s. But it's still important to continue to educate the African Americans in Beaufort, so a new location was sought. Eventually, the new location turned out to be at the corner of Queen and Mulberry, and that's where we'll find the Queen Street High School. Stay tuned to next week until we continue to look at African American history in the town of Beaufort. Thank you, Beaufort.